All right, guys, let's take a look. This is 1.2, and we're going to look through this together, and then you're going to be experts. We're going to be talking about how to use the order of operations, which means in math, it matters what order you do the math in, or you're going to come up with the wrong answer. So let's take a look at that together. This is just going to be talking about some of the vocabulary that you evaluate an expression inside the symbols. You guys have probably seen PEMDAS. I haven't seen this one as often. What we want to remember is which ones do we do first. So as you look through these words, what they're trying to tell you is the first thing you're going to do is anything that's in parentheses or grouping symbols. So the whole idea of a grouping symbol is that those get to go first. It's like fast track at Disney World. Then in the second kind of round, you go through and do anything that has an exponent or a power, like we talked about in 1-1. And then the next one is actually a pair. You go through and from left to right, you're going to do any multiplying and or dividing. And so we're going to take a look at all of these in action. And I think you've probably seen some of this before. And then lastly, you have addition and subtraction. And again, you start from the left and you go through the right. And you're going to add and subtract in that sweep through. So you go parentheses first, exponents, and then multiplying and dividing get done at the same time, adding and subtracting. And the only way this one's different is instead of a P, this just says grouping symbols. So in case they use brackets or some other kind of grouping symbols, but by far parentheses are the most common, so we usually just go with that. So the majority of what we're going to do today is examples. And so the smart thing to do is to stop the video each time and try it yourself. Convince yourself that you know the order. So if I'm thinking about PEMDAS here, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, that's how I remember. I look through here and I don't have any parentheses, but I do have something with an exponent, and so that gets done first. So if I think through, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, I don't have to do that row. I don't have to do any parentheses. But here, I would have to change that 3 squared into the 9 that it equals. And then I would still have multiply by 2, subtract 3. Okay, so then as I move into multiplying and dividing, remember this goes from left to right. So I would start here, and I would have 27 divided by 9, which is going to give me a 3. But then I would keep going and do the multiplication. So I'd end up with 6 minus 3 after doing my multiplying and dividing. So then I now take my 6 minus 3 and I'm in my adding subtracting phase. So I go ahead and subtract that. So just kind of practicing what goes first. And like I said, stop the video, see if you can do it yourself. That's going to be the best way to learn. Let's take a look at another example or two. Okay, evaluate the expression. So in this one, I'm thinking back to PEMDAS. I don't have parentheses. I do have exponents. So this is going to be the first part that I do. So I'm going to do 20 minus, and then 4 squared is 16. So then I don't have any multiplying or dividing, so I go right to addition and subtraction, and I end at 4. Same thinking. You might be tempted here to take 2 times 3, but if you look at our order, we have to think parentheses, no, exponents, yes. So this gets done first. So 2 times 3 squared plus 4 becomes 2 times 9 plus 4. Do we have multiplying and dividing? Yeah, we have multiplication. So this becomes 18. Then we move on to addition, subtraction. That becomes 22. So that is that. All right, same thing here. I'm always thinking back, do I have parentheses? No. Do I have exponents? Yes. Now 2 to the third is not 6. Remember that. You're going to have 2 times 2 times 2, which was that last lesson we learned. So that's going to become an 8. All right, how about multiplication and division? Yep, right here. So 32 divided by 8 is going to give me 4. Then adding and subtracting, I'm going to end up with a 10. Alrighty, so now if you just type this into your calculator straight up, it might give you the answer, but we're really learning how to try to do these with our brains. So hopefully you can challenge yourself to try that, because that's a skill you're going to need in the future. So just running them through your calculator right now isn't really going to help you get in that position. So thinking through here, no parentheses, but I do have exponents. So I'm going to have 15 plus 6 squared. Think about that, is 6 times 6. And then now I don't have any multiplying or dividing in this one, so I go right to adding and subtracting, and I work from left to right. So I have to add these two together, and so that is going to give me 51, but then I'm taking away the 4, so that is going to put me at 47. I feel like you're probably experts by now. Let's keep going. Just for some excitement, let's change to a green pen. Life's pretty good. So here we are with PEMDAS again, except for now we have parentheses. So I'm going to do what's inside the parentheses first. So the 7 is going to hang out there, and I'm going to do 13 minus 8 and get 5. Then I don't have exponents, but I do have multiplication and division. I have multiplying. So I go ahead and multiply them, and then I'm actually done in that problem. This next one looks like quite a doozy. If I think about parentheses, I have to do that first, but within the parentheses, I have to do the exponent first. So my first phase is going to be 3 squared, which is 9. Now, one thing you're going to need to know how to do is explain what would the first step be. So just getting the answer on your calculator, you won't be able to say, hey, the first step in this one would be to square the 3. That's what I would do first. But now I still have to work inside the parentheses first. So I would have to do my 9 plus 1 and get a 10. I don't have multiplying, I don't have dividing, but I do have addition subtraction to do. So I take away that 10 from the 24, and I end up at 14. So this one is more the GEMDAS because it's got multiple grouping symbols. Keeping in mind that when you have more than one, you work from the inside out. So in this particular example, this 8 plus 13, that's the part that I do first. So I have my 2, then the bracket, a 30 minus, and then 8 plus 13, if I add those together, that's going to be 21. So that replaces the 8 plus 13. Now I go on to my next grouping symbol because I'm still kind of out here, and I do 30 minus 21, which is going to become a 9. I don't have any exponents, but in my multiplying and dividing sweep, I do the 2 times 9 and get 18, and then I don't have adding or subtracting. So it's really just a checklist. You go right through and see how many do I have, of these steps. Do I have parentheses? Do I have exponents, multiplying, dividing, adding, subtracting, and just walk yourself through it. Now we're going to combine what we've done yesterday and today. We're going to be using the order of operations, but we're also going to be evaluating by plugging in a value for x. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to have a 9 times 4, because it's 9 times x. I'll have a 3, and then I'll have my 4 plus 2. So a fraction bar is also a grouping symbol, so I'm going to work on the top separate from the bottom. And in the top, 9 times 4 is 36, and I'm done. On the bottom, I still have to do the part that's in parentheses first. So the 4 plus 2 becomes a 6. So I keep working on the bottom because that wasn't done, but 3 times 6 is 18. And then lastly, if I take 36 and divide it by 18, I land at 2. So that's what I get for this expression when I put a 4 in for all of the x's. Kind of combining what we learned yesterday and today. Wow, that's it, grand finale. So this is going to be, let me get to your homework, sorry, on my other computer, and let you know which problems we're doing. And then just like every other day, we are going to take a little homework assignment quiz so that you guys can check and make sure that you're getting your answers right. And then if you have any trouble with any of them, you will be able to watch any videos you want tomorrow. So they'll come open tomorrow and you'll be able to read the, watch the videos on how to do the problems. Okay, so let's go. You'll be in page 10. Keep in mind that if you don't have a book, there's one in Schoology with the book pages you need posted in the Tuesday folder. You'll have page 10. You'll do 1, 3 through 9 odds, 20. Then you're going to do 22 through 30 even, 34, 35, 38. And I know this always feels like a lot, but by the time you get down to it, it's usually about 10, no more than 20 problems. And these should hopefully go pretty quickly. So you can do your homework on Notability. You can do your homework on a regular piece of paper. Just make sure that every time, like you would have your paper, you would put 1.2, you would put like question number 1, you would show your work, and then you would put a box around your answer. Then you'd go on to number 3 and so on. That way, when you go to do your homework check, if it asks you to find the answer to question 1, you can quickly find it because you had it numbered and you have the answer blocked in, because those homework quizzes will always be timed. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will shoot you another video tomorrow. Keep in mind that tomorrow is Wednesday, so we'll have our WebEx Wednesday at 11:15. The link will be in the daily folder. Super good opportunity to just hop in there, say hi, get help, ask questions, because we will have our first test on Friday. Have a great day, you guys. Bye.